Welcome back. So, let's actually get started playing this game now. So you always start with a scout and a small little... you're like a pretty basic commander with a small army. So we've got some slingers, and furbog warriors, pretty basic. I'm gonna go ahead and take the scout, move him over here. So he's gonna be sneaking into this province. You can tell by the white line if you know, anyone who's going to attack and not try to sneak is going to be a red line, a red arrow. So I think what I'm going to try to do is expand outwards first and then get this later. Just try to stake my claim before I start pushing up against enemy nations. We can actually look at who else is in the game. Pressing, I think it's F4. So we have Aramor, Kalem, and Hinnom. Not too familiar with these people. They have a lot of different types of magics they use. Kalem. Oh, Kalem is that flying nation. What is their weakness? They're cold resistant. We don't do much cold damage, so that's not useful against us. Shock resistant. That's kind of a bummer because we were hoping to do shock damage back to them. So, storm immunity. This unit can fly even during storms. I think that might be an air magic ability. I'm not sure. It's either air or water that you ground flying units. I'll need to look into that. And then Aramor is, I think it's like Romans. One thing I didn't mention is that almost everything here, from what I've noticed, is like all the nations are based on something, whether it's like historical or like mythological or even works of fiction. Like there is a water nation that I think is based on like Lovecraftian Cthulhu stuff. And yeah, they usually have some sort of mythology mixed in with them because, like, you know, they got this lizard thing. I don't know, some of them might be complete fiction of the developers' own work. I'm not sure. Like, for example, I don't really know what our nation is supposed to be. If there's a like a real world like mythology or legend that our nation kind of represents. Anyways, I'm gonna move to this like plain or whatever it is with the houses. I think these farmlands tend to have better income, so taking it first would be beneficial. I also need to recruit some stuff, and I'll explain recruiting real quick. So each province you can do recruiting in. So gold is like a global thing. Your empire collects gold and you can spend it anywhere. It doesn't have to be transported or anything. Resources are a province, like an attribute of the province. So it's these hammer things, and that's kind of like how many like workers I guess you have. So a province with low resources will never be able to recruit very quickly. And then there's recruitment points, which I think is influenced by the population. So both of these are province specific. It'd be nice if we had more resources because most of our stuff is pretty balanced in the number of thought it was, number of resources to recruitment points. So we're pretty heavily limited by resources. I don't know if we can up that in any way. Holy points limits how many holy units you can recruit, or sacred units. And commander points is basically recruitment points, but for commanders. So most commanders, all commanders think they're 1, 2, or 4 points. So let's see how we want to start our military. We might just want to do Furball Warriors at first. Since they're pretty cheap, we could train about 8 a turn. Actually, we could train a bunch of these a turn. They only require 3 resources. So actually, we ran out of gold before we ran out of anything else. What is our income? 341, so... These guys don't have much protection. I think I might start with Furball Warriors instead. I'm not really sure what's the best idea. Just because we can fit more of them in a square and they have a little better protection. I'll go with the spear users. I'm not sure if it's really... which one would really be better. I'll set that on repeat. I'm going to go ahead and queue up 2 druids, or 3. And once they get trained, there's an option you can set it so anyone with research ability automatically starts researching after they're trained, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to kick off our research. And speaking of that, we need to check out our spells. So, like I said, it kind of randomly applies. You have a starting amount of research ability that applies randomly, and it put ours in enchantment and thaumaturgy. Could have taken off that setting, and instead everything would have had it evenly split, so they all probably would have been like about here, working their way toward level 1 or something. So let's see, animate dead and animate skeleton, protection from lightning, windrunner. Those are things we'll be able to cast pretty early with our death and air magic. Over here, a few more things. I need to find a certain spell, so we're going to focus on conjuration. We already know that. Okay, good. Actually, what we need is in conjuration. So, you can have mages walk around and search for magic sites. The best places are woods, swamps, and mountains, I believe. Places where they can kind of be like hidden. Plains, I don't think there is as many of these magic sites. So, magic sites are level 1 through 4. So if you search with a level 3 death mage, you'll find all level 3 and below magic sites that are tied to death magic. There's also a spell for each school of magic, or I think magic path is the term they typically use in this game, but I'll probably say school of magic a lot since that's something I'd more commonly say. Anyways, like this one, dark knowledge. You can set this on autocast and they'll just start spamming it every turn if they have the gems required to cast it, and they'll search provinces at a range of 3, which isn't very far. Some other ones have more range, like 5. And it will uncover any death magic sites, and they won't search the same province twice or anything. So yeah, we'll be wanting to cast that so we can uncover more magic sites. Typically magic sites give you gems of the related type, but there are other effects. There can be ones that give you gold, or ones that... there are even some with bad effects once you uncover them, like they turn one of the scales in the province negative. So, Level up Conjuration for sure. Construction, we'll put some in there because construction, every even level allows you to construct more powerful magic items. Any mage can construct magic items based on their skill level. Ooh, Air and Death, we can also do this. Don't know if Conjuration would be that great yet. We really need gem income. Let's see, what Spirit Curse do? Curses someone. Curse never gets removed, and basically I think it makes them unlucky for the rest of the game. It's pretty expensive to cast, and it takes a gem, so we probably won't be using that. We might want to put like a point in evocation so we can get like a Shocking Grasp, for example. It's the range 1. That's not very good actually. We should find the air spell that we need that's equivalent to that shadow one I showed you, because we want to search for air sites also. Actually, we want to search for a lot of types of sites. Usually they're at level 3 or 4. So level 4, Thaumaturgy is Auspex, and that's the air one if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, air sites. Also, casting these spells reveals all of the magic sites, even if like a level 2 air mage casts it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna go ahead and put a point into Thaumaturgy so we can get Steel Breath. And we'll go up in Conjuration, back to Thaumaturgy. And Construction probably. We can always change this later. This is a pretty long queue. Level 1 and 2 doesn't take long to research though. Once you get a couple guys out researching, it's 50 for the first level. We aren't going to attack anything this turn because we don't have any information on these surrounding areas. I want to see how many units there are. So let's see, I am recruiting stuff. And I think that's everything we need to set up on the first turn, so we're going to commit this turn. And nothing's really happened. People are just declaring their profits. I prefer to recruit a stronger unit to make my profit. As you can see, our dominion has spread from our temple. One moment, I need to turn sound down. Seems extra loud when I'm wearing headphones. Okay, so over here there's about 20 units. That is not many. That should be easy to take on. 50 units here. From here, the numbers won't change much, most likely, so let's see. So we can set up our army and kind of do like limited amounts of orders. So here I can like set where they're going to start on the battlefield. I'll put the melee up front. Unfortunately, our leader's not good enough. He needs a +1 in morale to be able to specify what formation. I would like to put them in a line formation. And we'll just tell them to attack the closest enemy. Slings will tell them to fire and keep distance. And we won't even specify a target, we'll let them decide. It's not a big deal. So one of our druids got, yeah, we pumped out a druid, he's researching, so let's see, we have 38 units here. These are light infantry and light cavalry. Since there's cavalry, I want to get a few more units out before we go over there. Actually, there's going to be cavalry. Might want to train some of these guys up. Since they're so large, cavalry can trample. But I believe a unit this large, I don't think the cavalry will be able to trample. You can actually recruit quite a few of them. $30 units down there, so we can probably just walk through and take both of these. I'm just going to be safe. I'm going to get one more turn of recruitment going. Okay, so we're gonna need more commanders. Preferably someone like this with AD leadership. Kind of expensive, but which one did I just click on? This one? We'll train him up. He can lead a bigger force. And we'll make some more Furball warriors. We'll send this guy out here. That's 60 units just about, so I think I can take on the 20 pretty safely. I think I'll move the sling guys up a little closer since they don't have as much range as like a traditional archer. And we will attack our first province. Okay, so we finished some research in thaumaturgy. There's a battle in Falgoth. There's a battle in the land of our Lord. Okay, so this is another nation's battle. That must be where our scout is, because he... Yeah, so there's a nation already kind of on our doorstep. We must have started close together, or they're just like taking a line straight out of their nation, just like beelining somewhere. Maybe to that throne. So I think these are the... Yeah, these would be the neutral guys because they're getting attacked. The defenders are always on the right and attackers are always on the left. So they send a really small force. Sometimes it's just a normal difficulty AI, so they will do stupid stuff sometimes. Quite often. I'm trying to get better at this game. Next time I play, if I win this game, next time I play, I'll probably up the difficulty one level. Anyways, this is what a combat looks like. Our combats will look the same. I won't be controlling them. It's just running the simulation on, you know, the armies we set up. Do like to do that so you can see the team colored squares. A little easier to distinguish sometimes if your armies aren't, you know, hugely distinct in design and color and whatnot. So they got run off. And we'll watch our battle now. So as you'll notice, our giants are 1 per square because they are size 4. Looks like a little bug. He hasn't caught up with his square yet. And these guys are size 2, so they're 3 per square. Interesting. There are little hearts below them, which represent their afflictions, I guess. No, that's their health bar. Looks like hearts, though. Okay, it's just circles. I guess that's some estimation of how much damage they've taken. Okay, let's let this continue to play out. This is what I mean by they have 3 units on a square, even though our guys are pretty big and tough. Actually, they're not that tough. They have a good amount of health, but they don't have much protection. There's so many attacks against their 1 that it's kind of a downside to giants. You know, we might not win this, and if that's the case, that'd be really sad. Yeah, I think we will. These guys are going to surround the cavalry, but yeah, I don't know if these giants are actually a good idea. I thought they'd stop the cavalry initial trample that can destroy a lot of units, so maybe it was worth it, but they seem pretty weak. So I think we'll stick with furbolgs until we can get something better. Okay, so they've actually lost morale and have started to rout. Hopefully our slingers can make them rout. It looks like we already cut their numbers in about half, so their morale's probably not great. Oh man, my whole army routed. Okay, so these guys were a bad idea. I'm just gonna speed it up. Basically dead. But we'll have to come back with a better army. So this is a pretty bad start. We've gone a few turns and haven't taken anything. I want to keep pumping out druids. So we made it back to friendly territory. I think most of them, the ones that retreated, made it out alive. Okay, so we have this better commander now. We'll give him all the furbolgs. Put them in one group. Now we can do our line formation. I'll make them try to wrap around and kill the officers or the commanders in the back. I'd send a mage with them, but there's not really anything good we can cast. So if they don't regain many units, I think we can just take them with this army. Make sure we keep recruiting here. Okay, they immediately routed. I haven't actually seen this before. We might have killed their commander last time, so maybe without a commander they don't fight. Anyways, that means we finally took it. So you can add a province defense, which will just sit around here and fight anyone who enters. It's convenient, especially later on when occasionally like neutral units will rise up and try to take an area back. Let's see if that information is actually good. If so, we can move there and take that easily. Our capital seems pretty bad compared to normal. It's just there's so little resources compared to recruitment points that there's like a one really, there's like one extreme bottleneck we're dealing with. Okay, militias, so we can take that. That should be easy. Let's keep moving around, see if we can find another real easy one to take. Slingers don't take much to recruit. Okay, a very small force. Hopefully we just like trampled them. Not literally trample them, that's a trait that cavalry have, and some large kind of animal-like units. I will say units with, I can find units with javelins. I have some here. They don't tend to want to throw their javelin if you tell them to attack anything. If you don't give them the commands, then they do throw their javelin. It's kind of weird. I didn't realize these guys have such bad attack skill. Yeah, they're garbage. Okay, won't watch the rest of that. It's pretty much over. We lost a couple of Fomorian militia. Unexpected event has occurred in the land of our Lord. Unrest and misfortune. Not very good. What little defense we can. I think there are more than 10. I think there are like 20 down there. We might want to head back and try to take that. I'll check out that. We could send another force up there. I'll take these guys off repeat recruit. I'd like to hire a good mage. Maybe save up and get one of these. I don't know, maybe not quite yet. Can't say that. Crippled units die during the march. Sometimes that happens. People who get injured in battle can't make it. 40 units, that's too much. I'll check out what's down here. Actually, I'll recruit another scout. I'll speed it up. These fights aren't particularly interesting. Now that you kind of have an idea what a fight looks like. Of course, later on, hopefully we'll have a lot more spell slinging and stuff. Our nation doesn't have a lot of great mages, though. Okay, so as they get experience, we can have our commanders become famous heroes. So, he's got an experience, which increases leadership, along with, I think, some other stuff. Morale, attack skill, etc. As he gets more experience. Heroic ability is randomized. I think it's random, but there are different ones. So this one, increase morale and leadership. Less likely to break in combat. So both of these add to his leadership, so that's why he gained like 45 leadership. There's a Hall of Fame. I don't remember what button that is. So we broke into the Hall of Fame with this guy with only 18 experience. Bernard the Brave has been doing work. Yeah, you get a heroic ability as you enter the Hall of Fame. There's an option when you start a game to have how large the Hall of Fame is. I think the options are like 5, 10, or 15 units. I'm not sure all the mechanics. I think dead units will slowly eventually like fade away in memory and like leave the Hall of Fame. I could be wrong though. Let's see, we got a scout, so we can send him down here. What's our other scout? One thing worth doing with scouts is to set them to retreat. If they are discovered, they enter a battle, but they're the only one there unless we have other forces entering the province with them. And if you have them retreat, they can sometimes run off the back before they get sniped by an archer or something. And if they have friendly territory nearby, they might make it out and survive. Okay, I was just testing copy and paste. You can copy and paste orders. So troops only have this thing which tells them a very basic like how to attack. Commanders have this where you can script for 5 actions that they perform at the very beginning of the battle, so you can have them cast like a certain spell to start the battle. After those 5 scripted events though, it's just AI controls them. Let's see, we have enough gold. We can grab a sorceress if we think that's a good idea. What do we need? We only need level 1 death magic to cast this. Let's go and get us a sorceress. As I said before, you can recruit local units. They're usually bad. We can also construct buildings. We don't have the money, but for 400 gold we could build a temple. That'll help spread our dominion further. I'm gonna wait a turn and let the scouts catch up. 2 events here. Found some gems. Found some gold, but there's unrest. 30 units. Militia, heavy infantry, and archers. These are the ritual spells I can cast currently. I'm going to send both armies down here and combine them when they reach. Go ahead and send the scout down here. I guess we'll take over this peninsula if nothing's too difficult right here. And we'll take this big army and just kind of try to wrap around here and get everything around that throne, maybe some of this forest. So we should be level... Conjurations and research to level 3. Next to research is Thaumaturgy 3. There was a battle. I'll speed it up. Okay, we didn't lose much. That's good. Found some gold here. These are just random events that occur. I think we put 1 in luck, so hopefully we have slightly more good events than bad events. Okay, and we found some gems here. So this is luck. So this place has been brought up to 1 luck. If you remember, we didn't have much in scales, so it's usually just going to be neutral. The time of year, each turn is a month. So the time of year will try to affect it. Our scales will try to pull it back to neutral, like the temperature, but in the summer it's probably going to be like 1, maybe 2 suns. In the winter it might be like 1 or 2 coldnesses or whatever, 1 or 2 cold, but like for example here it's 3. So yeah, we're not going to see that much happening in our land, just occasionally a single luck. Heavy infantry, militia, and archers, that shouldn't be too bad. Let's move up here. I'll give all the units to this guy. He's got a really good morale bonus now, so they won't break as easily. I can just send this guy back here. He can ferry troops to this guy, but he's going to pass through the capital possibly, depending on where we decide to attack next. After we conquer this. Let's get a few more druids for research. This should be an easy victory. We have a pretty big force now. You will sometimes see friendly fire with our archers. When I started playing this game I really hated it, but I just got used to it. It's usually not as bad as it looks. Eventually I want to up this to about 20 or so, just to make sure like bandits and stuff don't take it back. So another thing to keep your eye out for is places with a good balance of resources and recruitment points. Kind of like this place looks decent. We'll want to build forts on them so we can use them to recruit units in addition to our capital. Just like a empty land like this. Yeah, okay, he's moving up. Empty land like this, you know, you can't really do much. Like, it's better than a lot of them. You can only get like, you know, 6 of these really bad militia. Building a fort on it will help you recruit stuff faster. I think we'll go over here. I'll have this guy meet him and give him more troops. And I'll have another unmarked champion ready to recruit. Or should I get into median champion? What are the advantages of him? He can cast spells, but really weakly. I'll just get this another one of these. Oh, what I do want to do though is put it on repeat, start casting Dark Knowledge. I don't have a lot to cast on yet, but hopefully we'll uncover some new sites. And let's see, we'll just cast it down here first, doesn't matter. And hopefully it will start uncovering new sites for us. We only get 2 of these per month. It'd be nice if we could get enough of those to cast that on repeat without having to see this dip down. When we get Thaumaturgy up, we can have someone casting the Auspex, the air version of that. No magic sites found with that cast. Dormant pretender gods are awakening, so it's been about a year. Got some gold, that's nice. Let's go and start training up another sorceress. We might start sending one of them around to cast spells on the battlefield. $50. Thought it was less than that a moment ago. Oh well, there aren't any cavalry at least, so we'll keep going there. Send him also. More thaumaturgy. Someone claimed a throne. Cast Dark Knowledge, didn't find anything. Unrest and misfortune. I don't think our luck's doing much for us. Doesn't quite look like 50, but I guess the numbers aren't exact. Well, the intel's not perfect. I don't know if there's a way to improve it or not. I think there might actually be some magic items that help with it. We'll speed this up. We lost a few, not a big deal. We'll put a decent amount of people here since it's on our border. Transfer the soldiers over, send him back to the capital. Bunch of archers there, that should be easy to take. You can see these black candles mean enemy dominion has spread to there. However, we can't tell whose dominion it is. You have to do something special or to see that. I don't remember what it is exactly. So there might not be anyone north of us unless they're like up in this corner. But no one's come over here yet. I'd like to build I want to take this and build a fort there, I think. So I'll try to work my way around. I'd also like to start building temples. Gonna remove some people from the recruitment list. I'll build a temple here so their influence doesn't push into my nation. One thing to note, temples don't spread from land to water or water to land well. I think in one nation has a special ability where theirs does, but I know there's like some limiting factor for how much it can spread into water as opposed to just like how freely it spreads over land. Still no magic sites found with Dark Knowledge. Bummer. Put our temple up though. Oh. So that was just conquered by Calum. Is that Calum? I won't attack them yet. The computer is kind of neutral at first. That's a big... a lot of people there. So I might head here. Yeah, the computer's kind of neutral at first though. They don't tend to attack you early on unless you start something. Oh, we found something. Garden of Bones. So let's check that out. 1 death gem per turn. Not bad. It's something. Okay, that's another thing to talk about. Supplies. Your army has supply usage, and every area has a certain amount of supplies, so if there aren't enough supplies, you start starving. I believe supplies are related to the number. Unless there's like a modifier. Looks like a unit has a modifier. I think the supply is the same as your like unit sizes all added up. Also, I believe you have to pay all your units 1/10 of their initial gold cost every turn. Okay, I think there's only, was it 30 units here or more? Maybe it was 50. There were cavalry. See how this plays out. I'm sure we'll win, but we could lose more than normal here. Or not. So a lot of them are just archer cavalry, so they don't really charge us. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, went well actually. I'll build another temple here. And start... Oh, someone's up here. They must have come through this way. Scratch the temple, I'll move in here before they take it, hopefully. And I'm going to move him up here and try to take that. Grab another sorceress while I'm at it. I just wanted to reduce the number of slingers we were recruiting relative to the melee. Or a couple more druids in. Thaumaturgy is almost researched up to 4. Oh, there's no risk of them jumping that unless they have some ability to let them walk over water. It's just a couple archers. There's no point to watch that. They got a few of us before we reach them. Okay, we got bad intel. It's not actually that great of a place to build a... I can't say it. A fortress on. I might save up for a Fomorian king now and make him my prophet. Next turn I should have the gold. Maybe I'm gonna push out, try to take like these two provinces, then probably go back and take this throne. I need my profit for that anyways, so take a moment for that to happen. Start casting Auspex and look for air magical sites. She leveled into a level 3 death mage. So if you'll notice, you can look at a site and see what it's been searched by. So you can see the ones that have been searched for death magic sites so far. Found Labyrinth of Skulls, and oh wow, we got 2 today. So we can support, we have 4 income with this, so we can at least support casting Dark Knowledge every turn now, not lose anything. And what was the other one we found? Two air gems, so that's solid. I don't like cat. Yeah, Auspex is cheaper, and I think it has better range too. No, it actually has terrible range. Some of them have. I thought one of them had 5 range. I'm not sure which one that would be. It was Earth. Nope. Well, I already saw that we won that battle. Big surprise. Guys are riding boars. I think these guys are like hobbits. They're in another game, Illwinter Game Design or whatever. I forgot what their exact name, but Illwinter also makes another game called Conquest of Elysium. I'm not as big of a fan of it, but there are Hog Knights and Burgmeister Guards Mounted, blah blah blah. Those are in that game. The game obviously uses some of the same mechanics as this one, but also it's a bit different too. Oh my guys, are they having trouble hitting them? Oh, their defense skill is 18, that's really high. I don't know if being small makes them harder to hit also. I don't know if it works that way. These guys have a defense skill of 20. These guys are crazy. I'll speed it up. These guys aren't going down. They're eventually going to fatigue themselves out though, right? Maybe not fast enough. I mean, it wasn't even that bad for us, but still, did not expect that. We can actually recruit them. Burgmeister, defense 17. It's pretty funny. Very low health, but good protection. So, that's something I should be doing actually. I don't know if any of these nations have assassins. Assassins are like scout, but they can also try to 1v1 a commander in their province they're in. You can set up to 5 guys as bodyguards though. It doesn't count as one of your squads. In the battlefield they just hang around the commander, and also if there's an assassination attempt on them, the commander, depending on the assassin's level, has a chance to bring these guys to help defend him. Also, this guy's leadership is enormous now. I'm gonna start recruiting a Fomorian king. Put this druid after him, and he will be our prophet. I always like to have a powerful prophet. Okay, we'll just throw him in there. I want to start raising my defense value up some on different provinces. How many do we hold? Assuming we take that one. It's about 14. That's about our share of provinces, especially considering we can't really hold 15 each unless we start going into the water. I'm kind of tired of watching us fight independence, so lost more than usual. It's a pretty big force, but nothing crazy happening. We're gonna build a temple out here since our military is, like, you know, expanded out past our dominion. He's not finished recruiting yet. What does he take? 4 recruitment points. I think we only get 2. Yeah, so I think next turn he'll be finished recruiting. Might want to consider starting to recruit some sacred units. I think these 2 giants are our sacred units we can choose from. We should consider what we want to do with research, since these 2 are going to go by really quickly, so we're almost emptied our queue. I just want to glance at the air and death spells. Might do some evocation. Get stuff like lightning bolt. Doesn't cost too much fatigue. Also, every level over the requirement means you use even less fatigue to cast it. So at level 2 air it costs 10 fatigue. Then at level 3 it's half that, so 5. And then at level 4 it's a third of that, and then a fourth, and then a fifth. Plus my guys don't take as much fatigue because they cast slower. Is that everyone? Yeah, they're all. These two units are spell singers. Don't think this guy is. No, he's not. He's a normal caster. I think I'll go for some evocation. Well, we need conjuration, but we still need more death gems before conjurations. Really too worth it. We'll go and do one more in conjuration. Then I'm gonna get evocation up to, I think, Orb of Lightning. Shadow Blast is also good, if I remember correctly. Okay, that's filled up for now. Eventually we want to return to construction to create magic items. Let's head to the throne. We'll join all our forces and hopefully just crush it. It's kind of annoying that their flag is so similar to ours. More air gems. Okay, I think I'll end this episode right here, and I'll see you guys next time.